Chapter 1961. So what if it was destroyed? The moment Fake Gu was destroyed, the whole battlefield returned to its previous state. The white light formed by Fate vanquished killer move disappeared completely. Crack cracked at a series of crisp sounds echoed as countless cracks spread throughout heaven overseeing tower. At the next moment, the whole of heaven overseeing tower crumbled into pieces. The grand heavenly court fell into deathly silence. There was no trace of wind in the battlefield, but the immortals felt a hurricane blowing in their hearts. Heaven overseeing tower turned into countless fragments that fell down along with Gu immortal corpses. Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable's painting path method turned into a ray of light that crossed the sky and flew far away. Fang Yuan ignored it and quietly floated in the air, looking at Duke Long, Feng Jiugu, and the rest. He had no expression and did not say anything. He only opened his palm slowly. Under everybody's vision killer move, everyone in the 5 regions saw the fragments of the destroyed Fake Gu. Fake Gu has been destroyed? We won. The 3 regions Gu immortals looked at each other, seeing the astonishment and daze on each other's faces. Unbelievable. We really did it. This battle will definitely be remembered by later generations. After coming to their senses, the 3 regions Gu immortals cheered wildly. On the contrary, Heavenly Court's remaining Gu immortals had ashen expressions and were dazed like puppets. Fate Gu was Heavenly Court's banner. Their spiritual pillar.It was more than a rank 9 Gu worm. Primordial origin Immortal Venerable had relied on this Gu to create the rule of humanity. It gave humans the hope of freedom and courage to revolt. After over 3 million years of inheritance and development, the significance of Fate Gu was much greater to Heavenly Court. It was Heavenly Court's foundation, a symbol, and also an eternally fluttering banner. But now, this banner was taken down and torn by Fang Yuan. Heavenly Court's immortals felt that the pillar in their mind was taken away. Their world had collapsed. Even without the 3 regions Gu immortals attacking or any external stimulation, they were dazed and did not know what they should do. Even Feng Jiugu was silent. His destiny song that had kept on resounding throughout the battlefield stopped at this moment. Far away, Feng Jinhuang was hiding in a secret underground immortal Gu house. She was weeping silently. Fake Gu has been destroyed. How did this happen? Everyone clearly put in so much effort, not even hesitating to sacrifice themselves. Qin Dingling's gaze was blank. She was like a lifeless statue. The greatly damaged demon judgment board rose to the sky. Fang Zheng, who was inside, looked at Fang Yuan with a highly complicated expression. Fang Yuan, you actually accomplished it. In Heavenly Court, in front of the venerable methods, you destroyed Fate Gu. So the gap between you and I is simply this big. This gap made Fang Zheng feel despair, but a strange thing was Fang Zheng did not feel bitterness at this moment. Instead, he felt a trace of relief. It was time to give up, that a person like Fang Yuan was different from everyone from the start. Thinking of rivaling him was wishful thinking from the start, a delirious thought even. Damn it. Damn it. We failed. Fate Gu has been destroyed. Heavenly Court's Gu immortals cried. They had used all their strength, given their everything. Some crawled out of their graves to fight. Some held on till the end, but they still failed. We have really failed our comrades who sacrificed themselves. I am too ashamed to face my seniors. Shame surfaced on the Heavenly Court immortals' faces. Many even had the impulse to kill themselves. Don't panic. At this moment, Duke Long suddenly spoke, his voice spreading throughout the battlefield, shaking every Gu immortal's mind. Duke Long flew to the sky. His expression was solemn as he knew this was the crucial moment. Fate Gu had been destroyed. Duke Long could not afford to be upset or blame himself. He was the leader of Heavenly Court. He needed to try his hardest to deal with this issue. What made him anxious was that even the deeply experienced Heavenly Court Gu immortals were shaken like this. What would the people all over the world think about this sight? If Fang Yuan's scheming and defeating Heavenly Court time, and again earlier, was like a heavy slap to Heavenly Court's face, then Fang Yuan destroying Fate Gu was like shaking Heavenly Court's foundation completely, destroying the status and reputation Heavenly Court had accumulated for over 3 million years. Duke Long had to restore their morale and fighting spirit. Fang Yuan, you really think you destroyed Fate Gu? Duke Long suddenly laughed with no trace of listlessness. One could not sense any form of wavering in his tone. Fang Yuan did not reply and only slightly raised his hand as he looked at Duke Long immediately. The three regions Gu immortals ridiculed. Duke Long, have you gone blind? You can't see the fragments of fate Gu. Some of the heavenly court Gu immortals looked with bright gazes, a spark of hope rising in their hearts. Is the fate Gu that Fang Yuan destroyed a replica? But Duke Long shook his head, still laughing. The destroyed fate Gu is the real one. But Fang Yuan, even though fate Gu is destroyed, has it really been destroyed forever? Can we not refine it once again? The immortals were stupefied. Immortal Gu were unique. This was an irrefutable truth of the world. If I had an immortal Gu, others could not possess the same one. But when this immortal Gu was destroyed, others would have the chance to possess it. Fate Gu was destroyed by Fang Yuan now. This was an ironclad truth. But this was not a genuine ending because Heavenly Court could refine it again. Does Heavenly Court have fate Gu's recipe? Shen Songsheng's expression was grim as he asked. Heavenly Court has held fate Gu for over 3 million years. We had countless refinement path great experts and 3 immortal venerables in this period. Take a guess if our Heavenly Court has fate Gu's recipe or not. Duke Long smiled, his entire body letting out confidence and calmness. Damn it. The 3 regions Gu immortals were exasperated. Duke Long laughed. However, even if Heavenly Court did not have fate Gu's immortal Gu recipe, so what? Everyone, let me ask you, was the fate Gu in the immemorial antiquity era refined by Renzu? Of course not. Qin Dingling replied. She understood Duke Long's intention, and her eyes shone with life again. Fate Gu was born from heaven and earth itself. Duke Long nodded. That's right. Immortal Gu are born from nature, which is why there are many wild immortal Gu. Even if we cannot refine it, heaven and earth will refine fate Gu. The new fate Gu might be rank 6 or even rank 9 directly. Who can say for sure? This time, the 3 regions Gu immortals looked at each other. After Duke Long mentioned this point, they suddenly realized that destroying fate Gu might not be a big deal. If fate Gu was destroyed, so be it, it could be refined again. Even if it is refined, we can destroy it again. A Gu immortal shouted angrily, but even he himself did not have much confidence to destroy fate Gu this time. They had paid a huge price. Could such success really be replicated? Forget about anything else. Just the point that only an otherworldly demon could destroy fate Gu blocked the path of many heroes and conquerors. Didn't even 3 demon venerables fail? Damn it. How could we have failed to notice this? A Gu immortal was vexed, but thinking about it, he could blame himself for not considering everything properly. After all, invading Heavenly Court and destroying fate Gu was already an enormous goal and could even be said to be wishful thinking. To realize this goal, the Gu immortals had already exhausted their minds and energy. This was an impossible mission akin to a mortal ascending to heaven. Even if they used all their strength and had inexhaustible will, it was still difficult to achieve. Under such circumstances, who could afford to think of the matter after ascending to heaven? In fact, when Central Continent held the Refinement Path Convention and 4 regions Gu immortals invaded, who could say for sure that they could destroy fate Gu? No one. Even Fang Yuan, even venerables did not have such confidence. Everyone was giving it a try. After the attempt succeeded, the Gu immortals were exulted. But what happens after realizing this goal? Duke Long's words were also the truth. The 3 regions Gu immortals suddenly discovered that the price they paid, the battles and the effort they invested were all in vain. Was it just an empty victory? The 3 regions Gu immortals were silent, their expressions gradually turning unsightly. Wu Yong was sharp and sensed the change in people's hearts and the fallen morale. He immediately refuted coldly. Lord Duke Long, you have a sharp tongue. However, Heavenly Court's failure is still a failure. You took great pain to defend and even hide fate Gu in Heavenly Court, yet we were still able to destroy it. In the future, even if you obtain fate Gu again, so what? In fact, you need to be careful. Otherwise, when heaven and earth gives birth to the new fate Gu, you won't be able to refine it yourselves. At that time, fate Gu will become a wild immortal Gu. Anyone will be able to possess it. It might not necessarily be obtained by your Heavenly Court anymore. The three regions' immortals' eyes brightened and their morale soared. Duke Long was smiling calmly. Wu Yong, you are not wrong about it at all. Let's say fate Gu becomes a wild immortal Gu and is obtained by one of you. So what? Can you all use it? Do you know how to use it? Even Wu Yong could not reply to this question. Duke Long smiled proudly. Fate Gu can never be used by Gu immortals. Before the remote antiquity era, it was held by variant humans, but they could not use it. Over 3 million years, my heavenly court had several immortal venerables, but no one could directly use this Gu. Countless geniuses racked their minds and then conceptualized heaven overseeing tower. It took 3 million years for us to research a killer move that could make use of Fate Gu, and that is Fate Vanquish. Do you understand the killer move Fate Vanquish? Do you know how to construct heaven overseeing tower? The three regions' Gu immortals fell into silence. Duke Long continued. Only heavens can use Fate Gu. Back then, for the sake of humanity, star constellation Immortal Venerable did not hesitate to sacrifice herself and merged with heaven's will, disturbing and influencing heaven's will, which is why humanity that rose 3 million years ago is still flourishing now. We remained as the rulers of the world. And my heavenly court built the immortal graveyard to support star constellation's will. Heavenly court members all chose to hibernate in the immortal graveyard to provide constant help for star constellation's will. Only then are we able to influence Fate Gu and thus influence the position of humanity in the whole world. Among you, who can achieve this? Duke Long swept his gaze throughout the battlefield. The three regions' Gu immortals were silent, while heavenly court's Gu immortals stood proudly. Someone even added arrogantly, no one. In the vast 5 regions, only heavenly court can accomplish this. No, you are wrong, Duke Long. Bing Sichuan's retort came from inside Calamity Luck Altar. Even if we are unable to use Fate Gu, we can use it as a Gu refinement material to refine Destiny Gu. Fate Gu cannot be controlled by others, but Destiny Gu can. This is the plan of our Lord, Giant Sun, Immortal Venerable. Duke Long looked towards Calamity Luck Altar and gave a disdainful smile. Even if you refine Destiny Gu, does it mean Fate Gu won't exist? Bing Sichuan was unable to reply that if Fate Gu was used as a Gu material, when longevity heaven refined Destiny Gu, Fate Gu would be used up. In the future, there could still be a new Fate Gu. Duke Long sighed. No matter what you do, Fate Gu will still exist. Even if it destroyed now, it will appear again in the future. As long as it appears, will your efforts today have any meaning? The three regions' Gu immortals were silent. Of course, there is meaning. Duke Long answered himself with solemnness and hatred. The meaning of this is to give a chance for variant humans to rise up, for them to create an unimaginably bad influence on humanity. You cannot use Fate Gu, and how long will it take for you to refine Destiny Gu? You don't even have an incomplete Gu recipe of Fate Gu. Once Fate Gu reappears, it will be controlled by heaven's will. Humanity will decline and variant humans will rise. And the one who led to this is all of you. Duke Long berated and suddenly pointed towards Fang Yuan. Especially you. You are the greatest evil. You destroyed the immortal graveyard. Star constellations won't be able to interfere with heavens like before. If humanity is exterminated in the future, you will be the main culprit behind everything. Fang Yuan. Oh Fang Yuan. You think you obtained victory by destroying Fate Gu? At best, this is only a giant joke. My heavenly court thinks for humanity in all aspects. We offered our blood and sweat for the benefits of humanity, even sacrificing ourselves. And you people, for your own selfish interests, destroyed the great position that my heavenly court had maintained meticulously for millions of years. My heavenly court can refine Fate Gu again in the future. We can refine it secretly. We won't let the 5 regions know of Fate Gu's refinement. Will you find out about it? Can you all stop us in time? Even if you stop us the 2nd or the 3rd time. What about after that? Who can guarantee you can stop us from refining it again and again? We will only refine rank 6 Fate Gu. It is far easier than restoring it to rank 9. Also, every time we fight because of Fate Gu, humanity will suffer heavy losses and greatly expend its foundation. This will give variant humans the opportunity to rise up against us. Duke Long lamented with deep emotions as he said this. Who is this old man? I did not know that Heavenly Court did so many things in consideration for our entire human race. Why did they invade Heavenly Court? What were these Gu immortals thinking? These people are all demons. They disregarded the big picture for their own interests. They are accursed sinners. The 5 regions mortals resonated with Duke Long. Most of the mortals had extremely little understanding of the Gu immortal world. And the Gu immortals scattered in the 5 regions were also silent when they heard Duke Long. Heavenly Court was powerful. Heavenly Court was domineering. Heavenly Court occupied almost all the cultivation resources of Central Continent. Heavenly Court's ambitions stretched extremely far and actively interfered in major events of the other 4 regions, but no one was able to deny Heavenly Court's contribution in protecting humanity. This was a fact. This is somewhat troublesome. Although it felt extremely satisfying to destroy fake Gu, there is some emptiness after the adrenaline rush. This is a bit of a problem. Inside the blood cape, reckless savages will mumbled while holding his head. Duke Long, are you done? Fang Yuan's expression was indifferent after destroying fake Gu. This was the first time he spoke and broke the silence. Duke Long looked at Fang Yuan. His brows furrowed as he started feeling uneasy. Fang Yuan was too calm. According to Fang Yuan's intelligence, how could he not see the crucial point? Duke Long tried to think from another perspective. If he were Fang Yuan, he would definitely use all his strength to attack and not give the enemies the chance to speak. Because once Duke Long spoke, he would create this current situation. Indeed, Duke Long's words restored Heavenly Court's Gu immortals' morale and also suppressed the enemy's spirit. He also raised Heavenly Court's prestige, and it was simply turning the situation around. Duke Long was worthy of being the leader of Heavenly Court. He not only possessed terrifying strength worthy of the main pillar at the crucial time, he could even lead and boost morale, changing people's hearts. How could Fang Yuan not see this? But he did not stop Duke Long. Duke Long could even vaguely see a trace of anticipation in his eyes. Oh, what was Fang Yuan anticipating? At the next moment, Fang Yuan chuckled. Oh, Duke Long, who told you that destroying Fate Gu meant the end of this battle? You seem to have forgotten someone. Duke Long's pupils shrank as he realized something. He followed Fang Yuan's gaze and saw a river. That was a phantom silhouette of the River of Time. Calamity Luck Altar carried Red Lotus Demon Venerable's method, Call of the Ancient. From the start of the battle, this killer move's power had condensed into a phantom river of time in Heavenly Court. Northern Plains past Gu immortal experts walked out from this phantom river and created an extremely huge threat to Heavenly Court. But as the battle continued, the phantom river of time seemed to have gradually grown powerless as fewer and fewer of Northern Plains experts were summoned to the late stage of the battle. This phantom river of time seemed to be motionless and showed no traces of new figures emerging. However, when Fang Yuan destroyed Fake Gu, this phantom river of time seemed like a beast that had broken free of its shackles. It started surging wildly and turbulently. Swish, swish, swish. The river water surged, raising astonishing waves that a figure walked out slowly and naturally from the giant waves. All the immortals present heard his voice. In my youth, I shined in the light of spring. Horses trampled on flowers as fragrance of wine spread. Love and hatred came. With the waves, summer cicadas sang as I woke up in the middle of the night, planting red lotuses in the river of time, going back in time with my tears run dry. Through the vicissitudes of life, I return to this stage. The myriad beings anticipate a life unbound by fate. He had the appearance of a young man. His gaze seemed to have experienced countless vicissitudes. He wore a red robe. His face was pure as jade. His eyes were bright like stars, and his skin was white as snow. He walked out from the phantom river of time and stepped into Heavenly Court's battlefield. Everyone watched. There was complete silence all around. His gaze moved around before fixing on Duke Long's body. Duke Long shook. His expression was extremely complicated as he opened his mouth. His lips moved, but no words came out. The young man smiled. Master, have you been well? Chapter 1962. I have Destiny Immortal Gus Recipe. 1962. I have Destiny Immortal Gu's Recipe. Wow, this person came out of the river. Why is there a river in the sky? The young man who walked out is really handsome. I still think that the fairy in the red cape looks nicer. Because of the killer move everybody's vision, the mortals of the 5 regions saw this scene. They discussed enthusiastically and rowdily. Mortals and Gu masters might not understand the severity of the situation, but most of the Gu immortals knew who this mysterious young man was. At once, Gu immortals of the 5 regions were shaken. It was as if a world-destroying tornado was rampaging in their hearts. This Gu immortal, it can't be. Is he Red Lotus Demon Venerable? Among the generations of venerables, Red Lotus Demon Venerable was the most mysterious one. Back then, Heavenly Court used everything to nurture him, but their efforts were in vain. Not only did Red Lotus not become an immortal venerable, he even became a demon venerable, betraying the righteous path and damaging fate Gu. There was also the problem of the Dragon Man race mixed within this. Heavenly Court had to disregard costs and make information path great experts use their most profound methods to eliminate the influence of this event. Moreover, Red Lotus Demon Venerable had constantly been reborn. He changed his style of action and wanted to preserve Heavenly Court's reputation for the sake of his master. He started to act secretly in the dark. Thus, most Gu immortals did not know the true appearance of Red Lotus Demon Venerable, but they all heard the mysterious young-looking Gu immortal called Duke Long his master. He had also walked out of the phantom river of time. Everyone knew that Duke Long was the master of Red Lotus. But why did this happen? Didn't Red Lotus Demon Venerable die? He might be a new disciple of Duke Long. The Gu immortals of the 5 regions were uncertain, but Heavenly Court's battlefield was full of experienced experts. There were many super forces behind them that had secretive information regarding Red Lotus Demon Venerable. They knew quite a lot of things. Thus, be they Heavenly Court or the 3 regions Gu immortals, they looked at the young Gu immortal while dazed like rocks. They were numb from shock. They recognized the young Gu immortal's identity, that it was really Red Lotus Demon Venerable. The 3 regions Gu immortals were shaken. Red Lotus Demon Venerable was the disciple of Duke Long. Seeing his attitude towards Duke Long, it still carried concern and respect. Heavenly Court did not dare to act rashly. After all, Red Lotus Demon Venerable had invaded Heavenly Court in the past, damaging Fate Gu. After that, in order to repair Fate Gu, Heavenly Court spent over 1,000,000 years, countless resources, and manpower. They managed to repair it in the end, but it was a pity that Red Lotus inheritor, Fang Yuan, destroyed it. It was truly infuriating. And most importantly, there was Red Lotus Demon Venerable's cultivation level. He was a venerable with rank 9 battle strength. Once he appeared, who could face him in combat? Even the powerful Duke Long. Even the colossal Di Zongsheng. Even Fang Yuan, who wore the blood battle cape, were no match for the rank 9 Red Lotus Demon Venerable. Nobody held any doubt regarding this. The young-looking Red Lotus guessed everyone's thoughts. He walked on thin air as he got to the center of the battlefield. He smiled. Everyone, no need to worry. I have already died. Now that Fate Gu is destroyed while Call of the Ancient has barely any power left, I am merely Red Lotus Will. Red Lotus Will was vivid and solid like it was the real person. But upon close inspection, one would realize that there were differences between it and an actual Gu immortal. The immortals managed to discern this as they let out sighs of relief. Red Lotus did not lie. This was his will, not his main body. His reputation was too great. He appeared in a shocking manner. Everyone could not help but think of it as the worst-case situation. After Red Lotus informed them, they realized the truth. The bad feeling in Duke Long's heart was getting heavier. Duke Long snorted coldly, shouting, Red Lotus, even though you have died, you are still not willing to give up that heretical thought? You won this time. Thanks to you, Fate Gu has been destroyed by your chosen pawn. Red Lotus shook his head. Master, this is not a win. Precisely so. I had to show up. What are you trying to do? Duke Long frowned. The bad feeling in his heart intensified. Red Lotus replied with action. His body flickered as he appeared before Fang Yuan instantly. Fang Yuan looked at Red Lotus with a calm expression. His gaze was dark like the night sky. He had very deep ties with this venerable. The spring-autumn cicada that he had used to turn situations around many times was the time path immortal Gu created by this person. You did very well. I am sure you've guessed what I am going to do now. Red Lotus smiled at Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan replied. Somewhat. Even though fate goo is destroyed, the truth is that to use it as a goo material to refine destiny goo, we will need an otherworldly demon like you. Thanks to someone's help, you finally became a complete otherworldly demon. Red Lotus will said this as he looked far away, towards the periphery of the battlefield where Spectral Soul and his servants were hiding. Fairy Ziwei and Old Man Zheng Yuan were perspiring profusely. Even though this was just Red Lotus will, he was simply too terrifying. Finding out their hiding spot with one glance to the hiding spot, Spectral Soul had already returned to human form. He looked at Red Lotus Will with a complex expression. This was not the first time he had met Red Lotus Will. His memories surfaced from the depths of his mind. Back then, he became a soul path venerable. He entered the river of time to explore its secrets. Even though Spectral Soul Demon Venerable cultivated soul path, with his foundation, he could freely enter and exit the river of time. As the mysterious fog appeared, a stone lotus island appeared in front of him of its own initiative. He stepped onto the stone lotus island, as Red Lotus Will smiled and invited him. I have been waiting, Spectral Soul. Let us make a deal. Spectral Soul Demon Venerable agreed to the transaction. Therefore, he learned of fate goo, and also the truth behind the historical invasion of Heavenly Court by the three demon venerables. He gave up on the plan to attack Heavenly Court. He went to design and create sovereign immortal fetus goo instead. Red Lotus Will looked at Spectral Soul, using his gaze as an indication. It is time to carry out our transaction. Spectral Soul chuckled as he ordered Old Man Zheng Yuan. Gather all of the human will. Send it all to Fang Yuan. Old Man Zheng Yuan immediately moved. At once, the vast amount of human will from Heavenly Court surged. These wills were of all varieties and colors. They were filled with ugly desires or beautiful dreams. One could indulge in them and lose their way. They were beautiful and ugly at the same time. People wanted them but also hated them. Red Lotus Will looked at the vast amount of will that resembled a rainbow seed. He turned around and smiled at Fang Yuan. Before entering the ocean of human will personally, the human wills engulfed him instantly. Next, fire started burning out of nowhere, resembling blazing red lotuses that burned the sea of wills. Duke Long saw this and became enraged. This was not something a mere will could achieve. Red Lotus, back then, when you attacked Heavenly Court, you actually left this arrangement behind. Before he finished speaking, Duke Long flew up, wanting to destroy the human wills. Don't even think about it. Wu Shuai was prepared for this. He manipulated Dragon Palace to stop him. Both sides fought. Dragon Palace was soon forced to retreat. What are you all waiting for? Duke Long shouted at all the Heavenly Court Goo Immortals. Heavenly Court's Goo Immortals jolted. They started to approach Fang Yuan and the vast sea of wills. The three regions Goo Immortals were not going to watch. A huge battle erupted again. No matter what Red Lotus is doing, it must be disadvantageous to Heavenly Court. This is something we want to see. Wu Yong's eyes shined with bright light. He shot out countless wind blades around him. Di Zongsheng roared angrily. It coiled his body around Fang Yuan and the human wills, resisting killer moves using its body as a shield, growling in pain but refusing to retreat. Bing Sai Chuan rode in Calamity Luck Altar as he resisted Demon Judgment Board. He had a complex gaze. It looked like Red Lotus Demon Venerable was going to refine Destiny Goo as well. This went against Longevity Heaven's goal, but he could not stop it or retreat now. He had to fight first. The flames burned the human wills, emitting a dense, sharp fragrance. After Red Lotus Will fused into the human wills, the vast sea of wills cooperated with Fang Yuan, entering the flames. Lumps of flames spread out, quickly expanding into a sea of fire. The surrounding temperature rose. If rank 6 Goo Immortals were not putting up a defense, they would instantly melt due to the flames. Fang Yuan breathed in deeply. The bloody cape protected him. He stood in the sea of fire, but he did not make a move. A Heavenly Court Goo Immortal could not help but laugh. Fang Yuan is not making a move. He looks like he does not have Destiny Immortal Goo's recipe. Fang Yuan looked at the person who was speaking from within the flames. He smiled coldly as his tone carried a hint of pity. I do not have it, but here in this battlefield, somebody does. Who? The fighting immortals all had this question in their heads. Find them and kill them. The heavenly court Gu immortals subconsciously had such thoughts. Find them and protect them. The three regions Gu immortals instantly made their decision. Fang Yuan silently shifted his gaze towards Feng Jiugu. Feng Jiugu also looked at him. The two looked at each other through the sea of fire. They stared at each other as if the surrounding fights in the battlefield were far away from them. Feng Jiugu breathed in deeply. He slowly shut his eyes. Next, he opened his mouth and started to sing. The tune of Destiny's song spread throughout the battlefield. Feng Jiugu has attacked again. Let's kill Fang Yuan. Let's exterminate the human will. Exterminate the human will first. Fang Yuan is secondary. The heavenly court Gu immortals were energized, but at the next moment, they screamed in shock. They were not powered up by Destiny's song. Instead, the three regions Gu immortals gained a boost in strength. Feng Jiugu, what are you doing? Duke Long was furious and shocked. He turned around and looked at Feng Jiugu like a furious blood dragon. Father. Feng Jinhuang's voice was filled with utter shock. It could be heard clearly as well. Feng Jiugu, why are you doing this? You betrayed heavenly court. How dare you? How can you do this? Qin Dingling screamed in a shrill voice. She was extremely furious. In order to nurture Feng Jiugu, she had even given him her responsive luck immortal Gu. But Feng Jiugu actually repaid her like this. Feng Jiugu had a calm expression. He did not stop singing at this very moment. He betrayed heavenly court unhesitantly, joining Fang Yuan and the three regions' allied forces. Chapter 1963, Feng Jiugu's Red Lotus True Inheritance. 1963 Feng Jiugu's Red Lotus True Inheritance. The tune of Destiny's song filled the battlefield, but at this moment, Feng Jiugu's opponent was heavenly court. Regardless of the shock and perplexity of both sides, Feng Jiugu was immersed in his own singing. At the same time, memories surfaced in his mind. During the second invasion of Langya Blessed Land, Fang Yuan set up a formation in the Blessed Land. Feng Jiugu and Chun Yi were isolated. Feng Jiugu faced Fang Yuan alone. My Gu worms are vanishing mysteriously. How can this be? This should be a theft path method. Is it Fang Yuan's method or this formation's? Feng Jiugu was shocked. Because Fang Yuan had theft path methods, Feng Jiugu was at a disadvantage as time passed. His Gu worms got stolen one by one. Among them were several sound path immortal Gu. Feng Jiugu's battle strength fell greatly. He had to choose to use fixed immortal travel immortal Gu to escape for now. Suppress space immortal Gu. But Fang Yuan suddenly used his prepared method. Feng Jiugu failed to escape. Immortal killer move. Great thief ghost hand. Next, Fang Yuan even stole the fixed immortal travel that he was after. Feng Jiugu's heart turned icy cold. He knew that he was in a desperate situation, but at this moment, he received Fang Yuan's secret transmission. Oh Feng Jiugu, I will not kill you. I will not steal fate armor immortal Gu either. You and I are not on the same side, but you and Heavenly Court are not aligned in beliefs either. Face your true inner self. What do you truly want? Let me ask you, have you started comprehending Destiny's song already? Feng Jiugu initially thought that this was a trap by Fang Yuan to affect his fighting spirit and determination, but soon he became very perplexed. Fang Yuan actually slowed down his attacks. He stopped forcing him. This made Feng Jiugu think involuntarily. What does Fang Yuan mean by this? He knows I have fate armor immortal Gu. He reacted so perfectly when we attacked Langya Blessed Land this time. He made ample preparations. Does this mean he used spring-autumn cicada to rebirth? If he really is reborn, what happened in the previous life? From his words, why does it seem like I will diverge from heavenly court? At this time, Fang Yuan transmitted again. Oh Feng Jiugu, I know you are full of questions and suspicions. Don't worry, as time passes, you will understand what I mean. Next, I will open the formation and give Chun Yi the false impression that he broke it. I am sure he will teleport you away. We will meet again, Feng Jiugu. Fang Yuan, explain yourself clearly. Feng Jiugu transmitted, but at the next moment, an explosion occurred as the formation space that was isolated became connected. Chun Yi saw Feng Jiugu in danger and quickly shouted loudly. Hang on, I'm coming. Be careful, the enemy has a way to steal Gu worms. Feng Jiugu hesitated briefly before immediately giving Chun Yi critical information. During the fight, Fang Yuan attacked ferociously. He critically injured Feng Jiuge. Fate Armor Immortal Gu was activated in order to save Feng Jiuge. Chun Yi used Karma Relocation. Feng Jiuge was shocked. Fang Yuan was right. Chun Yi really had a way to send me out. Feng Jiuge, you managed to escape this time, but next time will be different. Fang Yuan had a plain expression. This sentence had a different meaning when it was heard by Feng Jiuge. In the Battle of Langya Blessed Land, Heavenly Court lost. After the battle, Feng Jiuge considered Fang Yuan's words. He could have killed me, but he did not take my life. 1. Fang Yuan is a demon with a ruthless and vicious personality. He only cares about benefits. He let me go. There is only one reason. I will be a big help to him in the future. But I am a Central Continent member, a prospective member of Heavenly Court, the Tao guardian of my daughter Feng Jin Huang. Don't tell me. There will be conflict between me and Heavenly Court. If Fang Yuan is reborn from the future, does that mean that in his previous life, I opposed Heavenly Court, I was his natural ally? As he held such concerns, Feng Jiuge did not inform Fairy Z Wei of this situation. The thing that moved him the most was the Destiny song that Fang Yuan mentioned. Destiny song. Feng Jiuge had a vague sensation and inspiration, but his inspiration was too faint and far away. He could not grab onto it. But he knew that this was a direction that he continued to explore it, soon gaining some fragmented comprehension. Until one day, when he was stationed at Embroidered Tower, he looked at the 3 bloody skins left behind by reckless savage demon venerable. All of the comprehension that he had during this period underwent a qualitative transformation. Feng Jiuge's soul was deeply stirred. He could not help but smile. It seems that my next song will be Destiny Song. In the Battle of the River of Time, Fang Yuan and Feng Jiuge met again. How is the creation of Destiny Song going? They fought intensely on the surface, but Fang Yuan was secretly transmitting to him. Feng Jiuge. Fang Yuan, what is it that you know? Come to the River of Time more often. You should have realized that being here greatly helps your comprehension and creation of Destiny's song. But the most helpful thing is still the Red Lotus true inheritance on the Stone Lotus Island. Fang Yuan said, what do you mean? Feng Jiuge asked. According to my estimations, that should be a true inheritance that Red Lotus Demon Venerable specially left behind for you. It will help you greatly. Fang Yuan said. Feng Jiuge hesitated for a moment before answering. I will not owe you this favor without repaying it. Let me tell you this. In Heavenly Court's Embroidered Tower, there are 3 true inheritances left behind by reckless savage demon venerable. Each one requires a key. They are attitude Gu, mutation Gu, and adaptation Gu. Oh, a sharp light flashed across Fang Yuan's eyes that he did not think that Feng Jiuge was lying. The items were inside Heavenly Court. There was no need to lie. Back then, to repay the favor of saving him in the winds of assimilation, Feng Jiuge blocked Wu Yang's assault. Now, it also fitted Feng Jiuge's nature to expose this secret true inheritance to him. In this battle, Fang Yuan still let him go, causing Feng Jiuge to survive again. Central Continent's Refinement Path Convention started. Multiple battlefields were created as Gu immortals fought intensely. Such a crucial timing. Feng Jiuge was instead inside the River of Time. That really is a Stone Lotus Island? Feng Jiuge was shook internally. The Stone Lotus Island within the mist appeared in front of him. As Fang Yuan had predicted, he saw Red Lotus while on the island. Red Lotus will smiled. You are finally here, Feng Jiuge. This is the true inheritance that I left specially for you. Feng Jiuge frowned. No matter how much you give me, it will not change my stance. Red Lotus will shook his head. I had never thought of bribing you. Your choice is your own decision. I just feel that this true inheritance should be left to you. Of course, you can refuse to take it. Even if you destroy it, I am not going to stop you. Feng Jiuge believed in himself. After considering it, he decided to accept the true inheritance. He immersed himself in a certain segment of the memories of Red Lotus life. Red Lotus was undergoing tribulation, trying to get to rank 9 Venerable Realm. The terrifying might of the calamities and tribulations made Feng Jiuge extremely shocked and fearful. After the tribulation was over, only half of the Heavenly Court Gu immortals who helped Red Lotus were alive. The most painful thing to Red Lotus was that his wife Lu Shu Xian had died. This was his most beloved woman. "Don't leave me, Shu Xian." Red Lotus hugged Lu Shu Xian as tears poured down his face. Lu Shu Xian smiled. "It's no use. I have been struck by the tribulation. Having a trace of my soul left to take a final look at you is already an enormous fortune. How could I possibly ask for more? I am useless. I am useless. I underwent tribulation but implicated you." Hong Ting's head was lowered with tears rolling down his eyes. "No, Hong Ting. That tribulation could only have been blocked by my special physique. Even if you all sacrificed your lives, you would only have failed. I was born with one of the 10 extreme physiques and encountered you. It was all fate's arrangement. In your fatal moment, I suddenly understood the greatest meaning of my life. It was to protect you, to block the tribulation for you, and help you ascend to the position of an immortal venerable. Now, I have accomplished it. No, Xian, I would rather not be an immortal venerable. I only want you to live. I only want you to live." Hong Ting roared helplessly. His body was shaking and his tears were falling. "Everything and everyone in this world has its own respective fate. It is fixed. Hong Ting, you cannot have such thoughts. You need to live on properly. Your fate is to become an immortal venerable, lead heavenly court, and spread the glory of the righteous path throughout the 5 regions. Do you know? I had always been wanting to see that scene, standing by your side and accompanying you as you bring fortune to the world with invincible might. Unfortunately, I won't be able to see it." Lu Shu Xian's life force gradually fell until she died. Hong Ting's head was lowered and his back was bent deeply like an old man. A heavy shadow shrouded his face this moment. He seemed to have lost all signs of life. Incomparable grief. It was as if his heart had died. Regret formed in Red Lotus' immortal aperture. He decided to change everything. For the sake of this, he turned on Duke Long and Heavenly Court. He went on the opposite path. Red Lotus used spring-autumn cicada to rebirth tens or hundreds of times. The tribulation faded. This time, even though Lu Shu Xian was heavily injured, she still had one breath left. "Xian, you are still alive. You are still alive? This is great." Red Lotus was overjoyed. Guh. Lu Shu Xian suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood. Her last breath was used up. "Xian." Red Lotus was shocked. He looked at Lu Shu Xian's corpse in a daze as his eyes turned red. "I can still do it. I can see hope. As long as I continue working hard, I will definitely become strong enough to save Xian's life." A fierce light flashed in Red Lotus' eyes. He muttered to himself as if he had gone into a demonic trance. Rebirth after rebirth, he continued to be reborn. Using the advantage of rebirth, he got stronger and stronger. He became more capable of handling different situations. He had abundant experience. He made use of every portion of resources and elevated his strength to his greatest limit. However, like an endless loop, each time, he had to face the tribulation of becoming a venerable. The scale and might of the tribulation was adjusted according to the changes that happened to Red Lotus. This made sure that the result of the tribulation had never changed. Those Gu immortals that should have died still died, including Lu Shu Xian. Red Lotus continued to try without giving up. 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times, 10,000 times. He analyzed, he calculated, he maximized the value of every single resource he had. He asked for all the help he needed from Heavenly Court to the best of their ability. "Xian." Red Lotus hugged Lu Shu Xian. Lu Shu Xian gave him a final glance. "It is great that you are safe." After saying that, she died. "Xian." Red Lotus hugged Lu Shu Xian again. Lu Shu Xian did not have the strength to talk. She exerted her strength and wanted to raise her hand to touch Red Lotus' face, but she did not succeed. Midway, her arms fell to the ground. "Xian." Red Lotus shouted furiously. He watched as Lu Shu Xian was reduced to ashes within the lightning tribulation. "Shu Xian." Red Lotus looked at Lu Shu Xian, who was badly poisoned. His footsteps slowed down. Lu Shu Xian's entire body was black-purple. Poisonous blood flowed out of her 7 orifices. She smiled pitifully. "Hong Ting, don't be sad because of me. All the sacrifices are worth it. You must become a venerable. You will lead Heavenly Court and the whole of humanity." These were her final words. Red Lotus stopped walking. He stared at the pool of poisonous water formed from Lu Shuxian's corpse. He held his fist as he gritted his teeth. She died again. I need to continue working harder. Shuxian. After the tribulation, Red Lotus flew towards Lu Shuxian again. Lu Shuxian shook her head. She was pale. I am going to die. I can no longer accompany you, my most beloved. It will depend on the situation to see if you die. Let me check. Red Lotus had not given up. I know my own condition. Listen to me. At the final moment of my life, I want to tell you. Lu Shuxian's aura got weaker as she spoke weakly with pauses in the middle. Red Lotus did not listen to her. He was focused on inspecting her body condition. The result was that there was no way to save her. By the time he reacted, Lu Shuxian, who was in his arms, had already died. There must be some way. I can definitely improve further. Red Lotus reminded himself. Attempts after attempts. Failure after failure. It was as if Hong Ting was trapped, no matter what method he used. Even if he avoided the tribulation, Lu Shuxian still died. Feng Jiugu watched Red Lotus fail time and time again. He repeated attempts after attempts. An intense feeling of sadness and grief accumulated in his heart. He watched as Red Lotus screamed. He watched as Red Lotus got agitated. He watched as Red Lotus gritted his teeth. He watched as Red Lotus left in hatred. As he went through another cycle of rebirth. Each time, Red Lotus carried hope, but he gained disappointment instead. The tribulation to become venerable was unavoidable. He could not give up on it, but he could not control it either. Lu Shuxian was a wall that could not be avoided. Each time Red Lotus was reborn, he would need to accept this cruel fact. Each time he tried, he would see his beloved woman die in the end. Each time he got injured, the pain in his heart would be the same as physical pain on his body, but Red Lotus still continued to rebirth. It was as if he were holding a knife to his heart, stabbing at it continuously. Even though Feng Jiugu held deep admiration and sympathy for Red Lotus, he alerted himself to control his emotions. This might be a venerable method after all. As an observer, Feng Jiugu kept a cool perspective. He gradually realized. In the initial stages, Red Lotus would still scream at heaven in great agony whenever she died. But towards the later stages, Red Lotus stubbornly analyzed the situation with a rational mind. His expression was dark. At the final stage, Red Lotus' efficiency got higher and higher. Whenever he saw that Lu Shuxian could not be saved, he would instantly rebirth without any hesitation. Finally, there was one attempt. Lu Shuxian fell on the ground. The bones in her entire body were broken. She laid in a pool of blood with her final breath left. Red Lotus descended rapidly, quickly approaching her. Hong Ting. I am going to die. You must. Lu Shuxian smiled, watching as Red Lotus rapidly approached her. Red Lotus had a cold expression. He looked at her impassively. There is no saving you. I failed again, but it is all right. I will never give up. I am going to try once more. Lu Shuxian was shocked. Hong Ting, what are you saying? Red Lotus turned around and left as Lu Shuxian, who was behind him, called out with her dying breath. Hong Ting. Red Lotus moved quickly initially, but when he heard Lu Shuxian's desperate cry, his footsteps slowed down as he came to a halt. He looked down at his two hands to eye in the deathly silence. Red Lotus stared with wide eyes. His body started to shake. Suddenly, he felt like he could see himself. At this moment, he felt utter shock. There was a sense of immense fear in him. Chapter 1964, Red Lotus Death. 1964 Red Lotus Death. Why? Why did I become such a scary person? In the past, Hong Ting would feel grief at Lu Shuxian's death. He would feel regret and hatred. He would hug Lu Shuxian's corpse as he knelt on the ground, crying his heart out. But now, facing Lu Shuxian's death, seeing the final moment of Lu Shuxian's life, towards the lover who only wanted to spend her final breath talking to her most beloved, Red Lotus turned around and left. Was this Lu Shuxian, not the real Lu Shuxian? Of course she was real. Red Lotus was clear about this. She was still her, that same Lu Shuxian. Regardless of how many times Red Lotus was reborn, her determination and actions had never changed. She was willing to sacrifice herself to protect her lover. She used her life to block his venerable tribulation. But Lu Shuxian was still Lu Shuxian. But Hong Ting was no longer the same Hong Ting. Since when did it start? Since when did I turn into this? Red Lotus asked his inner self. This question was not hard at all. He soon found the answer. His countless rebirths, his countless attempts, the countless times Lu Xian died, and the countless times he received disappointment. His heart was hurt time and again. He bled each time. Before the scab formed, Hong Ting tore open his wounds once more. He was hurt too many times. He felt pain too many times. He regretted too many times. Too many times indeed. Eventually, he got used to it. He became gradually numb. Thus, he started to calculate with precision. Thus, he started to analyze rationally that he used every resource he had to strengthen himself and equip himself. He tried different methods in search of the strongest and most likely solution to preserve Lu Xian's life when he underwent his tribulation. When he started to think rationally, when he started to feel rational about Lu Xian's death, even though he forced himself to be rational at the start, he changed. Next, slowly, step by step, he turned into someone that he did not recognize. This person made him feel extremely shocked and fearful, followed by a deep sense of helplessness. This scene left an extremely deep impression in Feng Jiugu. Red Lotus stood on the spot, lowering his arms. He was young, but his back was hunched, like an old man about to die. Silently, 2 trails of tears flowed down his cheeks, silently weeping. Behind Red Lotus, there was Lu Xian, who called him with her dying breath, hoping that he would turn around, so that she could see her most beloved person at the final moment of her life. But Red Lotus did not turn around to look at her. Red Lotus no longer loved her. After all, if he really loved this person in his heart and she was about to die, would he coldly turn around to leave? Of course he would not. Even though his goal was to use rebirth to save Lu Xian, that was only a deeply rooted objective that he had. The reason behind it was no longer love. That it was truly laughable. He wanted to save the most beloved person in his life, but along the way, Red Lotus lost his love. And no matter how many times Lu Xian died, she did not betray him. She sacrificed herself for him. But Red Lotus himself had changed. He betrayed his past self. He betrayed Lu Xian that he wanted to rebirth and change the past. But to think that it was rebirth that changed him. From now what? What should he do? Since he no longer loved Lu Xian, why should he continue to rebirth and try to save her? Of course, he had other regrets. He loved his parents deeply. But did Red Lotus dare to attempt this? He could almost tell the results already. After witnessing the death of his parents time and again, he would get used to it. He would get numb. He would accept this result that was decreed by fate. Red Lotus did not dare. Then, should he accept this result? After rebirth, should he pretend to be unaware of everything, to follow the path set by fate and become a venerable, before becoming the heavenly court immortal venerable that everyone including his master wanted to see? Red Lotus did not want that. He still had love in his heart towards his parents and master. Because there was love, there was also regret. He also had hatred in his heart. He hated fate. Because he no longer loved Lu Xian, he also hated himself. He had all sorts of complex emotions in his heart. Red Lotus was unsure about them himself. Red Lotus asked himself truthfully. He inspected his inner self. He still wanted to destroy Fate Gu. But the intention was already different. He started to research and found more of the hidden profundities within U003 to the legends of Ren. When he comprehended the crucial factor, love Gu, he successfully used it to save Lu Xian's life. Of course, the price was that Red Lotus succeeded in the tribulation, but did not become venerable. As an observer, Feng Jiugu understood clearly. This was definitely a major breakthrough. The venerable tribulation could not be controlled by man, that no matter how Red Lotus stalled it. He had to undergo tribulation eventually, but using love immortal Gu, he finally changed a fixed result. Instead of dying, Lu Xian managed to survive. Of course, there was a backlash of Red Lotus not becoming venerable. That was also a result. Both results changed. Xian, you are still alive. You finally survived. Red Lotus, who succeeded, was very excited. He hugged Lu Xian. Lu Xian was in low spirits. What is going on? Hong Ting, you did not become venerable. Red Lotus laughed loudly. That is because I used love Gu. Do you know how many times I was reborn while trying to save you? You should have died during the tribulation, but because of my countless attempts, I researched the human path methods contained within U003 see the legends of Red Lotus was incredibly excited. He talked about his difficult journey, his experiences, and hard work, the trials and ordeals that he went through each time in his experimentation. But I finally succeeded. I finally succeeded. Red Lotus raised his arms and cheered. Even though this is a minor change, this is the proper direction. One day, I will succeed completely. Slapped out a crisp sound was heard as Lu Xian gave Red Lotus a slap. Red Lotus instantly froze. His cheering came to a stop as he stared at Lu Xian. Lu Xian's eyes had tears. Hong Ting, are you still yourself? You actually had such heretical thoughts? You actually wanted to change the past. You defied fate. No wonder you failed to become venerable after the tribulation. You did all these just so I could survive. All those people who helped you in the tribulation. What about the heavenly court Gu immortals who were sacrificed? You said that you were doing all this for me. But have you ever considered my feelings? I, Lu Xian, was born with one of the 10 extreme physiques and encountered you. It was all fate's arrangement. In your fatal moment, I understood the greatest meaning of my life. It was to protect you, to block the tribulation for you, and help you ascend to the position of an immortal venerable. But you actually did this. For me, you abandoned the most precious chance to become venerable. If you cannot become venerable, what will happen to heavenly court? What will happen to the world? What about humanity? You forgot your master's teachings. You let down the expectations of your deceased parents. I am truly hurt. My heart really hurts. I would rather sacrifice myself. Your love towards me is just a small love. Greater love is for humanity, for the myriad living beings in this world. Hong Ting, I am truly disappointed in you. Lu Xian cried profusely. Red Lotus stared at Lu Xian in a daze. After a long while, he let out a breath of air. So that was it. Red Lotus had a calm expression. His gaze became eerie and dark. Lu Xian grabbed his arms. Quickly think of a method. You must have some way, right? Let everything return to its original path as decreed by fate, even if I have to be sacrificed. How can our love compare to the greater love of heaven and earth? How can it compare to the grand ambitions of heavenly court? Guh. Lu Xian's body suddenly shook. She lowered her head as she looked at her chest. Red Lotus's hand directly stabbed into her heart. It was a fatal blow. Lu Xian looked at her lover in disbelief. Maybe killing you will return everything to its original path. Red Lotus looked at Lu Xian in the eye as he said plainly. Lu Xian showed a blissful smile as he said, Hong Ting, I was not wrong about you. Please, please become a venerable. At the next moment, she died again. Similar to the countless times Red Lotus had experienced, Lu Xian died again. But compared to the countless times Red Lotus had experienced, there was a difference. Lu Xian was truly dead. In Red Lotus's heart, she was completely dead. From then on, she never lived again. Red Lotus looked at her corpse with calm emotions. There was not even any ripple in his heart. The woman he had once loved deeply, he was willing to give up anything for her. He was reborn time and time again, working hard to save this woman who he had never given up on. But now, he killed her. He personally killed her. Red Lotus felt no regret in his heart. He even gained some insight. The cause of this tragedy was in heavenly court. It was fate Gu.At this moment. His determination to destroy fate Gu could not be any firmer. Feng Yuan felt the scene in front of him change. Heavenly court. The battle was over. The entire area was in ruins. On the damaged top floor of heaven. Overseeing tower, Duke Long and Red Lotus faced each other. Duke Long had evidently undergone a tough battle. He was covered in blood and injuries. He looked at Red Lotus as he sighed deeply. Oh Hong Ting, one mistake leads to countless mistakes. To think that you have already reached this point. You want to destroy fate Gu? Go ahead. Saying this, Duke Long took the initiative to give way. Red Lotus was slightly shocked. He walked towards fate Gu. Most Gu worms had fragile bodies, but no matter how much force he used, fate Gu was like the strongest object in the world. He could not destroy it. Regardless of what method you use, you cannot destroy fate Gu. Hong Ting, you are not the only one. Be they limitless demon venerable or reckless savage demon venerable, They came here in the past, but their methods were all useless against Fate Gu. In this world, only a complete otherworldly demon can destroy Fate Gu. But otherworldly demons are not complete when they come into our world. Thus, nobody in this world can destroy Fate Gu. Duke Long said this as he showed intense fatigue. Hong Ting, come back. It is not too late to turn over a new leaf. Even though you have sinned greatly and made many mistakes, Heavenly Court and I are willing to give you a chance to redeem yourself. We can start over again. Even at this point, Duke Long was still urging Red Lotus. He was unwilling to give up. Red Lotus was silent for a long time. He turned around to face Duke Long, smiling. "Oh, Master, since the two demon venerables could not destroy Fate Gu, why did you not place Fate Gu in front of me from the start, to let me try doing so and give up?" Duke Long was silent. Red Lotus continued as he smiled. "That means you are afraid too, right? You are afraid that I might have a brand new method that is able to destroy Fate Gu." Duke Long smiled bitterly. "Of course. Times are changing. Gu cultivation paths are emerging endlessly. Many theories in the past are no longer appropriate now. Even I am unsure if there is really a way to destroy Fate Gu. But at this time, I can no longer stop you. I can only take a risk and try. But you've seen the result yourself, too?" Red Lotus pondered. "Fate Gu arranged the lives of everyone and everything in this world. You and I, even a rock or a ripple in a lake is part of this. But Master, have you ever thought about it? A human is not a rock nor a ripple. We have cognition. If a person is not happy with the life arranged by fate, what should this person do?" Duke Long looked at Red Lotus. "You've read U003C03 see the legends of Ren 3E2. When Rinzu met Fate Gu, he tried to escape from its restraints and pursue Freedom Gu. What happened to him? He did not manage to grasp freedom. He lost himself and became insane. He sank into madness. This is the outcome. This is the warning. A person has to accept their fate and live their life. They have to shoulder the responsibilities given to them by fate. They need to do what they are tasked to do." Red Lotus laughed loudly. "I understand. Thank you, Master, for the teaching." Duke Long saw that his expression was strange. He felt something amiss the next moment. Extreme fear and shock appeared on Duke Long's face. He found that as Red Lotus exerted strength in his fingers, the Fate Gu in his hand was actually shaking lightly. Cracks appeared all over its body. Red Lotus. Duke Long was furious. He attacked. He went all out. Red Lotus did not dodge at all. He was hit by Duke Long. This was a fatal injury. Duke Long was shocked. He suddenly realized that Red Lotus had purposely angered him so that he would deal a fatal blow to the final moment of his life. Red Lotus still smiled as he faced Duke Long. "Master, I've always admired and cared for you. Even after countless rebirths, my admiration towards you have never decreased. But now, I need you to understand something. Look at me. Fate has given such preferential treatment to me, arranging such high status and accomplishments. But I was not happy. I wanted to rebel. Then let me ask you, in this world, there are countless others who lead worse lives than me. What do they think of fate? People are not rocks or ripples. We have cognition. The truth is, cognitive madness is the most scary thing. It is the most powerful." Saying so, Red Lotus handed Fate Gu to Duke Long. "This is all I can do. Love Gu is able to damage fate." Master, are you shocked? It is a pity that I am not an otherworldly demon. But I tried my best to make arrangements. I did everything that I could. I left hope for the future. Other than that, there is nothing to look forward to in my life. I might as well die like this now. But I believe that one day in the future, Fate Gu will be destroyed. Even if it is not me, someone else will do it. I want to believe that in the future, I will not be alone. A group of people will attempt to destroy fate. Master, you cannot stop it. Heavenly Court cannot stop it, because you cannot stop people from thinking with their free will. Chapter 1965. He was still Feng Jiugu. 1965. He was still Feng Jiugu on Stone Lotus Island. Feng Jiugu browsed through the memories left behind by Red Lotus. He returned to reality. Red Lotus was like a real person, extremely vivid. Other than my memories, I have two things for you. One is rank 8 future self-killer move. The other is the immortal Gu recipe of Destiny Gu. Next, Red Lotus will explain in detail. Rank 8 Future Self Killer move will allow you to instantly gain pseudo-venerable battle strength. After all, you are the Tao guardian of the predestined Great Dream Immortal Venerable. In history, as long as Tao guardians matured, they would have such a cultivation level. Future Self will also allow you to utilize your strongest state in the future at this moment. As for Destiny Gu's Immortal Gu recipe, even though it is just an incomplete Gu recipe, it was created according to the Destiny song that you will create in the future. It has the same origin as your Destiny song. 1,000 years later, you will create the complete Destiny song. But I cannot give it to you directly, because Fate Gu is not destroyed completely yet. It will not allow this. Thus, I used another method, converting it into a rank 9 Destiny Gu recipe. It will be a huge help to you. You will comprehend Destiny's song in its initial form. Feng Gu was moved. The true inheritance from Red Lotus was completely suited for his needs. He could not refuse. But he did not lose his cool. He acutely sensed the meaning behind Red Lotus Will's words. The initial form of Destiny's song? Feng Gu asked. Red Lotus's will nodded. Indeed. For the following 1,000 years, you will modify Destiny's song many times. Eventually, you will make this killer move extremely profound. At the last modification, this killer move will actually possess the ability to grow on its own. The more Gu immortals hit by it, the more it can extract the power of destiny from them to grow further. This is an excellent killer move. However, I need to remind you something. As long as Fate Gu still exists, your destiny song will be suppressed and sealed. Feng Gu shook his head. Red Lotus Demon Venerable, thank you for the true inheritance. I understand what you mean. In fact, before now, Fang Yuan had already reminded me many times. But I will not destroy fate or resist heavenly court just because of your true inheritance. Red Lotus will smiled lightly. I am not asking for anything. I am only sharing my experience with you. I place this crucial strength to break free from fate in your hands. As for your choice, that is up to you. The decision will be made by you in the end, won't it? Feng Gu left the Stone Lotus Island with a heavy heart. Fate showed preferential treatment for Red Lotus Demon Venerable. Even though it took his parents and lover, he was given unparalleled talent and aptitude. He had supreme strength and status. But Red Lotus was not willing to accept this. People were not puppets. They had their own thoughts. Even the venerable Red Lotus was like this. What about me, a Tao guardian? Feng Gu thought about himself. Seeing the growth of Feng Jin Huang could truly bring joy and happiness to her parents, let alone his Tao guardian status. Even without it, why would Feng Gu not defend his own daughter? But, is this Tao guardian status something I like and truly desire? Feng Gu asked himself in his heart. The truth was, nobody had ever asked him about it.The Duke Long, Qin Ding Ling, or even the supreme elders of Spirit Affinity House. Nobody asked him. It was as if this status was glory. It was something natural to accept. Feng Gu should have been overjoyed to receive it. There was no need to ask such a redundant question. But was it really that case? Feng Gu thought of another deeper question. Why do people live? This problem was just too broad and deep. The answer varied according to the person. 1,000 people would come up with 1,000 answers. In fact, even the same person would have different answers at different time periods. Feng Gu could not answer this question. He could only take a step back and ask himself truthfully. For what purpose do I live? Feng Gu could not help but think back to his life experience. He loved music when he was young. He did not hesitate to cultivate sound path. From the start of his cultivation journey, he wanted to create a total of 9 songs, to express himself, to express all living beings, and to express heaven and earth. After that, he found a fortuitous encounter in a mountain valley. He by chance discovered the inheritance left behind by a sound path great expert, spatial sound immortal master that he started to cultivate in the valley alone, feeling no loneliness at all. He was immersed in the delight of music. He cultivated and lived every day in a fulfilling manner. In this valley, he easily passed the crucial tribulation and became a rank 6 Gu immortal without causing a commotion. After becoming a Gu immortal, Feng Gu did not have any emotion of pride or desire to show off. Everything was natural. Plain and simple, he continued to cultivate in the valley and develop his immortal aperture, going from rank 6 to rank 7. One day, two Gu immortals arrived in the valley. They sang with Feng Gu. Back then, it was nighttime with the moon hanging high, and light wind blowing gently, causing ripples in a glittering lake in the valley. As the three Gu immortals sang in harmony, time flew by rapidly, and they had sung till dawn. The three stopped singing and started laughing. They did not greet each other, but left full of joy. Afterwards, the two were framed and hunted by the righteous path. After Feng Gu learned of this, he did not hesitate. He stepped forward to help them. Thereafter, the unstoppable legend was created. He fought against all 10 great ancient sects alone. He became a renowned champion in the world. The 10 great ancient sects lost their reputation. They accused Feng Gu of being a demonic cultivator and joined forces to resist him. Feng Gu was not afraid, fighting as he continuously traveled a huge distance, suddenly changing his tactic and going for the enemy headquarters, causing the 10 sects to lose miserably. The scene was total chaos, and there was nothing anyone could do. During this process, Feng Gu met with Spirit Affinity House's fairy Bai Qing. They developed feelings for each other. Feng Gu went into Spirit Affinity House and became a righteous path member. Afterwards, Spirit Affinity House's reputation soared. By relying on Feng Gu's strength, their territory expanded, firmly suppressing the other 9 ancient sections. Following that, 88 True Yang building collapsed. Feng Gu led his group to investigate the situation. Thus, a series of future events occurred. He was by chance saved by Fang Yuan and repaid the debt in southern border, blocking Wu Yong for him. After repaying the debt, Feng Gu chased after Fang Yuan again. Until this point, Fang Yuan let Feng Gu go multiple times and even reminded and guided him to the Stone Lotus Island, gaining a Red Lotus true inheritance. If my entire life's journey was arranged by fate Gu, was I willingly living this life? Feng Gu shook his head. He was more willing to see it from another perspective. It was all my choice. Back then, I chose to stand up for the two immortals. I gave up my life of peaceful seclusion because of the anger in my heart. I wanted to seek justice. I married Fairy Bai Qing and had a child with her. That was because I loved her. I taught my daughter Feng Jin Huang and raised her into an adult. That was also my love to my child. It was not decreed by fate. If fate wants me to lose Bai Qing and Jin Huang, will I do the same as Red Lotus? If I have a good chance at this moment, in which as long as I make a move, I can destroy fate, will I do it? Destroying fate went against his own benefits. After all, Feng Jin Huang was the great dream immortal venerable decreed by fate Gu. But does Feng Jin Huang herself really want to become great dream immortal venerable? Feng Gu suddenly realized that just like how nobody had asked him if he wanted his status as a Tao guardian, nobody had asked Feng Jin Huang if she really wanted to become great dream immortal venerable, including Feng Gu himself. It was as if everything was natural and a matter of fact. There was nothing to question. Feng Gu asked himself an even deeper question. If Huang Er likes the fate of becoming great dream immortal venerable, while fate Gu is right in front of me and I can easily destroy it, then will I do it? This question made Feng Gu hesitate. He was unsure. He was perplexed. He was lost. Reality did not give him time or space to think about this closely. The battle to repair fate Gu was still in heated commotion now. Feng Gu had to join the battle. On Harryfoot Mountain, he saved Feng Jin Huang by singing Destiny's song. With rank 8 future self, he was one of the strongest Gu immortals in the world. Destiny's song's power made even Di Zongsheng faltered on the battlefield. Feng Gu met with Fang Yuan once again. Fang Yuan transmitted secretly. "Oh Feng Gu, you finally created Destiny's song. What do you think of this killer move?" Feng Gu was silent, that he had to admit that this was truly his song. It was a song that he would create with his personality. His voice was contained in this song. Yes, he did not want to acknowledge the existence of fate, but he felt deep emotions towards the cruelty and profundity of fate. He observed the lives of countless people. They had their highs and lows. He saw the hope, struggle, joy, happiness, sadness, and despair of these people. If one says that fate is fixed while luck is a variable, then I desire that variable to exist within the people and all life forms. These changes should occur from one's own choice. Feng Jiugu understood the truest intention in his heart. I did not create fate's song. I created destiny's song. This is the most honest thought I have in my inner heart. At this moment, he realized the scheme that Fang Yuan and Red Lotus Demon Venerable had plotted. They knew about his nature, so they did not try to convince him. They only passed destiny's song to Feng Jiugu and used Feng Jiugu's voice to convince himself. Indeed, this destiny song that Feng Jiugu sang allowed him to support the heavenly court Gu immortals and raise their strength. When he sang for the enemies, they would weaken. But the truth was, he was singing for himself. He was singing to understand his true feelings, and thus, he understood that he loved Fairy Bai Qing. He also loved his daughter Feng Jiugu. But Feng Jiugu was not alive for their sake. His wife and daughter were just choices he made in his life journey. They were part of his life, but not the entirety. For what purpose am I alive? This question brought him back to the starting point. He wanted to sing 9 songs, to express life, to express heaven and earth. Currently, he had already created 9 songs. But he has not sang everything about life and the world yet. He had to continue singing. But as he sang, fate restrained him. It was like an invisible pair of hands strangling him. How could he sing freely like this? Seeing that Feng Jiugu did not reply to him, Fang Yuan transmitted while in intense combat. "O Feng Jiugu, your voice is your aspiration. How can the person who created Destiny's song be aligned with Heavenly Court?" Feng Jiugu was calm as he replied secretly. "You know me well. But even so, I will not join you. Unless you can create a situation where we can easily destroy fate. Otherwise, I will not help you before that. Heavenly Court and Central Continent have treated me well, so everything still depends on you." Fang Yuan chuckled. "Then watch properly." Next, he purposely got hit by Duke Long. He fell towards Embroidered Tower, activating Reckless Savage Demon Venerable's hidden arrangement. Unexpected to Feng Jiugu, Fang Yuan used Reckless Savage Demon Venerable's strength to overwhelm heaven, directly destroying fake Gu. After that, upon hearing Duke Long's words, Feng Jiugu realized that the battle had not ended yet. When Red Lotus will appeared once more, Feng Jiugu gradually realized the plot that Red Lotus Demon Venerable had set. Thus, when Fang Yuan asked for Destiny Gu's recipe, Feng Jiugu finally took action, but he helped Fang Yuan. He was also making his own choice. In the past, when he helped the 2 immortals while challenging the 10 great ancient sects, he had once said, "Neither demonic nor righteous. There is only Feng Jiugu in this world. To leave or to stay, I decide my own life and death." Now, should he stay or leave? This question could not puzzle him any more that he, Feng Jiugu, had turned from the demonic path to the righteous path. Now, it was time to go back, because Feng Jiugu was still Feng Jiugu in the end.